Hey, so I was going to do my normal thing of where I'm going for doing the Vertigo titles and new number ones, blah blah blah. I thought, why am I making all this work for myself? With the Vertigo thing, I'm just going to keep that section just for the first two issues of a new series, and move on. And same with new releases, just keep it to the number ones. So this is a very rare appearance recently, for the past few months, of a stack attack or a review of my stack of comics from the past few weeks. Because I thought I might as well, it's going to save me a lot of time if I just do it all together. So that's what I'm going to do. There's quite a lot, and I'm organised this time. It's in publishers, etc. So let's make a start of it. So first up is Absolute Wonder Woman number 19 by the usual team of suspects: Kelly Thompson, Hayden Sherman, Jordi Belair on colours. Gorgeous cover. So this is part 4 of 5 of Season of the Witch. So this has the absolute version of. By the way, the artwork is gorgeous. This is the absolute version of Satana and her father Zatara. So basically, this issue basically is a battle for Satara to bring him back to the good side, because at the moment he's kind of like this demonic burning character. And totally by the by, but then there's this scene where Steve Rogers and the rest of the team, they go to this building and it's a coven. I was a bit confused by that, but maybe I forgot something from the previous issue. I don't know. I'll tell you what, Steve Rogers is look maxing on this panel here. Yeah. So anyway, that's by the way. But the art, of course, is just beautiful. The use of colours is just beautiful. The Hayden Sherman and Jordi Belair are just working beautifully in tandem. It's hard to, you can't, it feels very organic, like the one person doing the art. But yeah, it's a very satisfactory read. Of course, it's Absolute Wonder Woman. It's just continuing to be a really cool, solid read. Kelly Thompson is playing her A game of this book, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And yeah, solid 9 out of 10. Then we're on book 11 of Absolute Martian Manhunter. Great cover. So of course, usual creative team: Dennis Camp, Javier Rodriguez. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. The plot, God. So basically, there's Green Martian, and now there's the Despero kind of analog kind of character, who are both inhabiting John Jones's mind. I do like this little cut out bit here. So if you cut out that, you save a person from being brutally murdered. Um, I'm trying to. I can't work out if I like it or if I'm just extremely confused. It's the most Lynch. It's David Lynch smoking, imbibing loads of hallucinogenic drugs. It really is. It's as trippy can get. And to be quite honest, I'm very pleased it's finishing with the next issue. It's an interesting experiment. It's very much a head read, not a heart read. There's nothing about any of the characters that I find likable. But I don't think it's here for that. It's an exercise in comics, what you can do with comics. It's an exercise in mood, and it's pretentious claptrap basically. But it's pretty pretentious claptrap. Artwork 10 out of 10. Story, what the fuck out of 10. So there you go. But one more issue to go. So I am going to carry on with it because it's beautiful. Absolute Superman. This was amazing. Absolute Superman number 19. So Rafa Sandoval is back on the arts as he was last issue. So they're facing off against the absolute version of Shazam, who is more like Black Adam in this one. This was very, very action heavy. It was great. I really enjoyed this. I think it was Comics Patrol, who said he thought that it was very Superman-like, but Superman was very heavy in this. He was very, very, very prevalent into the main story arc. I thought it was great. It had a really good SmackDown fight, which had consequences. I loved the potted origin of this world's version of Steel, and it's nice how they're bringing this super team together, this absolute super team together, and the art's gorgeous. I think Jason Aaron's doing fantastic work on this. He's moved away from just doing flashbacks to Krypton all the time. It's very much Earth based, and it's all the better for it. And I love this fight where it shows the different forms of impact they have, the different forms of speed and power, and how it affects where they're going as well. Nice little cameo there from Absolute Batman. It's just great. It was wonderful. Again, an easy 9 out of 10. Highly recommend. If you're not buying it, do get the trade paperbacks. First 6 issues are very much world building, but after that, it goes running out of the gate. I did have another. I'm not as organised as thought. Here we go. I thought we had another Absolute one. So, Absolute Batman number 20. Of course, everyone's got a little ding on their cover. So yeah, this is the introduction of this world's version of the Robins. But first of all, the artwork. Wonderful. The only critique I will give with this book, maybe I'm just dumb or maybe I'm just really old, but it's these time jumps what Scott Snyder does. He doesn't really let you know that he's done a time jump or that the plot's moved on a bit. So I'm going to go, but how the hell did he end up there? So basically, it's kind of like a prison break-in, and Bruce is working for these people, and I'm a little bit fuzzy on this issue. I don't know if it's me, but yeah, it's left me a bit fuzzy. Artwork was amazing. It's nice to see that Croc's back to his human form. I love this version of the Riddler. The artwork is great. The Harley Quinn is wonderful in this, and they're all going against type. It was great. It was fantastic. The Scarecrow is creepy as fuck. But nowhere near as creepy as the Joker. I mean, look at those babies on his arm. Good God. It's embraced. It's really now an all-out balls-to-wall horror comic, and I think it's all the better for now. It's thrown off the pretense that it's trying to be even remotely like the normal standard DC Universe version of Batman. It's wonderful. It's a great comic. Like I said, there are moments what left me a bit confused, but like I said, that could be an age thing. I'm just dumb. But I really enjoyed it. Again, another 9 out of 10. And JSA, I enjoyed the flashbacks to the year one, but I'm glad they're back in present day. And I really enjoyed Gavin Goodry's artwork, but I love the regular artist who's come back. Diogo Olatogi. There's just something about his energy. He's got very much. I could picture him doing like a good Daredevil comic in like the 80s and 90s. He's got that feel of like that. He's like a curious blend of John Romita Jr. with a bit of this makes sense. Tom McFarlane thrown in, but really, really good. I love his art style. So the Spectre is back, but it's the Spectre back as the Spectre Force. So there's nobody holding him back. He's not got a human host to to control his basically ruthless nature, because he is basically just the wrath of God, and that's what this story is. This issue, it's the setup. He's got free, and they basically got to fight the wrath of God, and it's wonderful. And I love this version of Kid Eternity. Kid Eternity is a favourite C-list character from DC that I really enjoy. And just the dialogue, it's great. It's a wonderful team book. It's a good all rounder. I'm not going to give it 9 out of 10. It's a solid 8 out of 10 because I think because it's just like the preamble to the main thrust of the story of this new storyline. I think it's going to get even better. So I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Oops, you went surfing all the way off the chair then. It'll be fine. What's all that? So next up, Fury of Firestorm, number 2, The Anatomy of a Nuclear Man. I love that cover. Leonardo da Vinci would be proud of that. The art is wonderful. I love the flashbacks where they're done like old 70s style colouring, etc. So this is basically like a potted history of how Professor Stein and I keep forgetting, and Ronnie got together, how they became Firestorm. So which is great. It's nice to get a refreshing because obviously some people buying this will have never read a Firestorm comic. They'll only known him from the TV series, the CW TV series. That page is fantastic. So basically, Firestorm has nobody controlling him at the moment. He's just this pure nuclear kind of like elemental being who's just all humanity is gone. And yeah, that's what we're up to about because the rest of the story was, like I said, it was more like giving you a potted, I said that a few times, history of the relationship between Professor Stein and, God, I keep forgetting his name, Ronnie Raymond. But yeah, it shows how powerful Firestorm is because on the final page, they have to send some of the Justice League to tackle him. And I'm looking forward to the third issue. It's good, it's solid, another 8 out of 10. I got this for free. I was going to buy it. Because it was in the back issue box, but they threw it in my bag. So this is number 15, sorry, of. So it's the new jumping on point for Aquaman. It's now called Emperor Aquaman. Art by John Timms, is it? John Timms is beautiful. The art is absolutely beautiful. The story. Thing is, the story's not bad. I actually kind of enjoyed it, but it feels like it's missing 2 chapters or something. It feels like it's made itself convoluted for convoluted sake. So I'm not sure if I'm going to try another issue or not. I'm going to mull it over. It might be if I have a quiet week, I might look in the back issue for number 16 and maybe pick up 17. But at the moment, it's like it's on the show. It's like that. It left me confused. So it's confused out of 10 for the story, 10 out of 10 for the art. The art's beautiful. Then we move on to Vertigo. We have Bleeding Hearts number 4. I adore this cover. Stipe Morion is amazing as an artist. Dennis Camp is doing his most accessible work with this. So it's a zombie story that's now feeling more like almost like a fairy tale or a parable. It's basically the zombie who could. It's this zombie who suddenly realizes his heart started beating again. So he's in this weird limbo of it being neither one thing nor the other. He spent, I don't know how many years the zombies have overtaken the earth. He's been a zombie for a very long time, but now he's regaining his humanity, but not fully. So, like I said, he's in this weird no man's land, and it's carrying on from the last issue where he's basically become like this protector of this woman and her child. But obviously, when he speaks, he's just like, a bit like Geeky or Hog Talks, when you need subtitles to understand his Essex accent. Do check his channel out. don't hurt me. But when he's with his zombie friends, you can just it just comes across as English. So she just sees him go, "Ooh." So she thinks he's a brainless zombie. But like I said, he's got cognitive reasoning now, and he's trying to watch out for him. He's getting provisions and stuff. But at the same time, he's feeling like he's being disloyal to his zombie brethren. So there's a really sweet bit where he's playing tea party with the girl. It's really sweet. The art is just beautiful, but he's feeling torn. He's feeling very disloyal. He he meets up with his best zombie friend, and he thinks, I've got to act normal. And he thinks things are fine, but there's a thing that happens later on regarding his zombie friend, and the whole paradigm is shifting again. It finishes on a really good shock ending, and it makes you want to know what happens next. It's great. It's very fully fleshed out. Like I said, this is Dennis Camp doing a comic without a political message, without being pretentious. It's just full of heart, which is a weird thing to say for a comic that is on the surface a horror comic. And the artwork is beautiful. It's a pleasure to read. It's a 10 out of 10. It is a beautiful, perfect comic. And then we have another Vertigo comic, The Peril of the Brutal Dark and Ezra Kane Mystery, issue number 3. This is the noir Vertigo title, with gorgeous artwork by Jacob Phillips, solid writing by Chris Condon, the team behind That Texas Blood, one of my all-time favourite comics. This is a wonderful, wonderful book. Very period heavy, full of mystery, full of action. You've got the Dame as well now being introduced, who's got a history of Ezra Kane, and you've got the MacGuffin being brought to the forefront again, where there's this mysterious artifact. He's got flashbacks to how things were in the war. It's kind of hinting at almost like supernatural monstrous elements as well, without it being blatantly said that they are, which is something to do with That Texas Blood. It's great. If you want something that's a bit more noirish, chew on a bit, the beats are great. It's not slow moving. It's just good, solid, grown up. It's a good, solid, grown up mystery, and I'm really, really enjoying it. 9 out of 10. Then we move on to Batman number 9, One Will Fall. Got Jorge Jimenez cover. He's not on the interior artwork. It's the second part. I think he comes back next issue. This is the second part of the story by illustrated by Ryan Suck. Ryan Suck's a great artist. I love his work on Justice League Dark, and I like him as an artist as in his own right. He's very, very different though to Jorge Jimenez. I don't mind it. I really enjoy it. Like I said, I'm a big fan of his artwork, but I think that some people who buy in the book because it is Jorge Jimenez, they might feel cheated a bit. But like I said, it's just for 2 issues. And basically, this is just preamble and setup for the next stage of the story, where the Bat family is now fugitives, and Barbara Gordon, this is no surprise, gets arrested, which leads into her comic. I didn't pick it up because I've heard like media just mid. So I might pick it up next week next time I go in if it's a quiet week and it's still there, or I might just trade wait. But so that's what it is. It's basically a setup for this new overarching storyline for the whole of the Bat titles, where Poison Ivy's become mayor. All the Bat family is criminalized now. It's very kind of on the nose. It's like Trump giving misinformation and things like that. So it's good. It's good, but it's not as good as it has been. So I would give it a 7.5, nearly an 8 out of 10. Then we've got Detective Comics number 1108 with the regular writing of Tom Taylor, but it's Pete Woods on the art, and he's not a bad artist, but there's just something about it. It just feels soulless. If it's harsh, that could be harsh, but the story itself is very good. It's Black Canary and Green Arrow teaming up with Batman, and they make a great trio. And it's focusing on this flashback to this hero that they knew 10 years ago, who's died. I don't like that trope though, where comics it's been done a lot in the past 25 years in comics, where they retroactively introduce a character who's no longer around, but he's had this impact on all these people, and you've never heard of him before. I'm thinking, I think it's a lazy plot idea. So it's not Tom Taylor's best story. There's an interesting, apart from that, if they'd done away with that and just had it like a family friend instead of being a hero, I think that would have made me enjoy it more. But because they tried to retroactively create this mystery superhero character, it's killed the enjoyment a bit for me. So if they hadn't done that, I'd have given the story a 9 out of 10. But because of that, it's getting a 7 out of 10. Art, 6 out of 10. That's it for DC. We'll now move on to Titan. Now it's 2 issues because I put off reading this for about a month and a bit. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling Conan at the time. Does that make sense? That sounds dodgy, doesn't it? I wasn't feeling Conan at the time. I hope, yeah, I've never touched them, honest. But yes, issue, that's savage, you'll laugh at your own joke, isn't it? Issue number 29 by gorgeous art by Dougie Braithwaite. Now, what I'm glad I waited because it kind of works reading 2 issues together. The art is fantastic. It's wonderful. It's great. This story doesn't even feature Conan apart from mentioning him right at the very end. This basically gives the life story of this character here, who's an assassin, and it tells you how he became an assassin. And it was gripping. It was thrilling, and it sets up this part 2 where he's now being assigned to assassinate Conan. And this is some of Doug Braithwaite's best artwork ever. And this whole series is this whole episode is him tracking Conan, hiding in the shadows, lurking, and just observing how Conan deals with people and stuff. And then it reveals at the end that Conan was actually aware of him all the time. And so the third story part of this will be a fight between the 2 of them. It was great. It's a masterclass. 9 out of 10 for both issues. Then we move on to Skinbreaker, final issue. I think there's about 30 pages of story. Artwork is beautiful. And if I want to be kind, I'd say the comic has amazing art and the art is 10 out of 10. The story, how Robert Kirkman could put his name on here as a writer, there's hardly any story. The first 6 issues are challenging each other to become the chieftain, foraging for food, fighting the beast becoming the friends, blah, 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 peace reigns, and it's flimsy, very flimsy, beautiful book. So I'm just going to say 10 out of 10 for the art. I don't know what I'd give for the story. Then a really wild Bolt Out of Blue, Spawn 375. This is the final issue by Tom McFarlane. I didn't buy it for that. I bought it for the backup. There's a 5-page backup by Matthew Rosenberg and Stephen Segovia, which is setting the scene for King Spawn. So Matthew Rosenberg is going to become the new writer on Spawn, starting from 376, and he's doing King Spawn now. So the next issue of King Spawn that comes out, he will be writing, which is that one there. The first story by Tom McFarlane and Brett Booth, it was shit. I have not got a fucking clue what was going on, but he's a clunky writer. Tom McFarlane is a fantastic artist. He's a good artist. The writers are awful. I know people love Brett Booth. I don't know. I just find him too busy. So yeah, I just kind of skim read that and thought, yeah, fine. So it finishes on this big cataclysmic explosion. But what Matthew Rosenberg has said is that next issue, it's set 1 year later, and it's a completely fresh new start. Tom McFarlane said, I want you to completely do your own vision of Spawn. So I'm really excited for that because Matthew Rosenberg does great horror. He did DC versus Vampires, the 2 seasons, and they were amazing, really fun. So that's why I got it. Backup strip, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Main strip, shit out of 10. Then we're on to Invincible Battle Beast number 8 by Robert Kirkman, Ryan Otley. Nice to see. I'm deep into Invincible now. I'm on 40. I've read 14 of the digest size books, so I'm really into it. So I know these characters. So some characters from Invincible make an appearance, and it's just a bloodfest. This is what I wanted actually more for Lobo. Lobo is just too. I love the art. It was fun for a bit, but I couldn't carry on with it because it was very much one trick pony. This isn't, and it's some of Ryan Otley's best artwork I've ever seen. The characters are great. Battle Beast is wonderful, brutal and savage, and yeah, it's a 9 out of 10. And then we're moving on to the Ghost Machine, the Unnamed Universe. Redcoat number 17, and of course has a double spread cover. Gorgeous artwork by Brian Hitch with Andrew Carradine inking, and Brad Anson on colours. So this is set in the early 1900s. Einstein is back. He's more mature. Their friendship is still strong, but Simon Pure's arch nemesis Benedict has come back, and he's trying to convince him that he's changed his ways. He wants to be like Simon Pure as a family, and he's just living his life. So we shall see. And it ends on a very great cliffhanger. So things are really kicking off now with this. I really enjoy this. I think this is one of the one Ghost Machine title that people either love and they get fully invested in, or they just think it's mid. For me, I'm fully invested. 9 out of 10. And it's another great book. Geiger, number 23. Wonderful cover. Yeah, Gary Frank won this time. I'll never know which cover they're going to give me. There's quite a lot of these kind of like big, bold pages. So Geiger and is it the Northman are basically leaping about in time, and they arrive in this time where Geiger's family is still alive. So it's quite an emotional few pages. And the hardest thing is he gets ripped out of that. That panel is very Barry Windsor Smith from like the Dr. Solar period of Valiant Comics. So I'm wondering if he nabbed that. I don't know. But yeah, it was a great book, and it ends on a really intriguing cliffhanger. He makes appearance, and yeah, loving this book. 9 out of 10. Another book I absolutely adore. It's from James Tynion and Fernando Blanco, and it's World Tree number 20. This is a futuristic cyber horror. The mystery gets even more elaborate with this one. There's betrayal, there's some shenanigans, fighting, violence, nudity, wonderful stuff. I adore this book. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 because I just love this book. I love James Tynion. I think he's one of the best writers out there at the moment. It's just cool. He's cool as fuck in his universe building. So yeah, wonderful, wonderful book. Cover's not so great, but the book itself is wonderful. Then the two Marvel comics I get now monthly. So we'll start with the second book of Daredevil by Stephanie Phillips and Lee Garbett. This was kind of like a slow burn issue, and I think it's good for that because they're introducing some new characters, a new police detective, elaborating a bit more on Matt Murdock's role at the university, etc. And it reveals some horrific content about this new character who's taking people's eyes out. And again, that's quite clever because it's obviously Matt Murdock's blind, and this protagonist is blinding people before killing them. And it was good. It was very good. This is what I want from a Daredevil comic. Daredevil's been shit for a long time now, so it's finally having his own redemption arc because of the team that's on it. And apparently, Lee Garbett and Stephanie Phillips are about 7 or 8 issues deep in advance. Marvel actually told them to slow down, so they're going to be on the book for quite a while, and there's not going to be any filler for a while. I love that cover. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. And the last book, and the last Marvel book of the month is Mortal 4 number 10. Great Alex Ross cover. Pascal Ferry's on the arse again. I adore this book. I'm not the biggest Al Ewing fan. Like, I think he can be a bit boring and ploddy and too tied up in showing how clever he is. But in this book, it's just great. I like Thor just with a hammer, speaking Norwegian, and not being superpowered. It's wonderful. What I like about this book as well, I've forgotten who the name is. When Pascal Ferry does like 3 or 4 issues, and then I think he does like 3 issues or 4 issues, and there's a gap. There's fun artists, but the same artist for each time he takes a break, and it flows seamlessly. And normally that issue is normally like in Asgard, so you don't get that whiplash effect. It's wonderful. It's very, very brutal. The dialogue's great. The artwork by Pascal Ferry is just beautiful. I'm singing the praises of a Marvel comic, so that shows it must be good. The Grey Gargoyle is in it as well, and it's Bruce what happens to him, courtesy of Thor. And yeah, I love it. it's an easy 10 out of 10. This is one of the best comics, superhero comics on the stands at the moment. So that's a very rare stack review. I'm not sure when the next one will be because, like I said, normally I like just doing the individual ones, but I was just in the mood this time. But it's because I think I spent all yesterday reading all my comics while I was watching Eurovision Song Contest. Don't judge me. So I thought I might as well share my thoughts. I had a lot of thoughts after reading them all. So I hope you enjoyed that. My next video must be later on next week when I've got a surprise package come what I want to share with you. And got my doodah here, so bye.